Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Glad to see you. So I have a question for you. Have you ever bought stock at multiple price levels and then decided to sell a little piece of that stock into a move to the upside? And you wonder to yourself, what price did I sell that small piece of stock at? I have an average price. I've bought a bunch of times, but I just sold a little piece and I don't know what price it sold at. That's what we're doing today. Let's go. Okay, to set things up, I'm going to give you two terms I want you to hang on to for a few minutes here. The first one is LIFO, L-I-F-O, and the second one is FIFO, F-I-F-O. Those two terms are going to come to mean something here in a little bit. I'm going to jump over to the whiteboard. I'm going to create a scenario with Tesla stock, and I'm going to show you what FIFO and LIFO mean in terms of TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform and just the plain Ameritrade login site where you can check your accounts. There's a discrepancy, there's an issue there. It can cost you a lot of money, and I want to dive into that right now.
I think the first thing we should jump into here is just talking about what FIFO is. So FIFO is an acronym and it stands for first in, first out. And what that means is when you first buy a stock, let's say in Tesla, you buy that stock for a certain price. That's the first in. Now, let's say you buy 10 more times and you add to that position in Tesla. And at the very end, you sell some. The first one that you bought, that's the first one that's going to be sold. So that very first purchase is the first in. The sale of it 10 buys later is the first out. So to demonstrate this, I just want to draw a little diagram. We're going to talk about Tesla stock here. So I'm just going to draw a little thing here. We're going to put Tesla out right here. And what I want to talk about is having a stock that is going to do something like this. Let's say that Tesla is at $300 per share, okay? So $300 per share, and at this price, you decide to buy, let's say you buy 100 shares, okay? So let's do this. Let's say 300, and you buy 100 shares of this stock, okay? Then from here, Tesla has some turbulent times, and let's just say that now Tesla decides to drop a little bit, and it drops down to $250 per share, and you go ahead and decide to buy another 100 shares. You're going to average down because you know Tesla's going to keep growing infinitely, so you buy another 100 shares. So right now, between 300 and 250, your average would be 275. But let's say Tesla drops again. Tesla drops to $200. So you say, okay, what do I do? Well, I'm going to load up and I'm going to buy another 100 shares. So the question becomes, after Tesla turns around, let's say that Tesla drops, it's doing this, it gets down to 200, and then it rips back to the upside. And you decide, I want to sell right in here. That's a great thing. You waited for the dip, you bought on the way down, it ripped, and now you're going to dump some shares. But the question becomes, at what price are you selling those 100 shares? Are you selling the $200, the $250? Are you selling the $300? Because there's no way to differentiate. All you know is you have an average price. And that average price is at a certain dollar amount, but then when you go ahead and you sell 100 shares, are you getting that average price for the 100 shares? No, you're not. You're actually not at all. You now have an option to pick between FIFO and LIFO to organize your account. So in this scenario with FIFO, which is FIFO, and I'm just going to go ahead and write this out real quick so you have it right here, but it stands for first in, first out, okay? So the first in was which bank of shares? These, right? You bought 100 shares at $300. That was your first purchase. So that is the first in right here. That was your first in. Now when you go ahead and sell, the first is going to go out. So let's say that Tesla dropped to 200, but then came back and was up at 300, and you decided, I'm going to go ahead and sell. The first in, which was these, will be the first out. So you bought at 300 and then you sold at 300, so you made no money. Now, what if you could gain the ability to sell these shares? So you bought at 300, you got the drop down, and it ripped back up to 300. What if you could sell these? And then you would be making $100 per share, right? So you would be buying at 300 and then dropping, buying 250, buying 200, and then when the stock popped back to $300, you dumped the shares that you bought at 200, so you're making $100 per share, right? So in that case, up here, your profit would be 0, right? Because you bought at 300, it dropped, popped, you sold, and you sold at 300. So $0 for that one. But in this scenario down here, if you would have been able to do first in, first out, you would have been 0. But if you could get this one, the last one in, first out, what would your profits be? Be $10,000, right? Pretty crazy. So the difference in mechanics can allow you to make more money by selling a certain lot of shares at a certain time. So if you're going to sell here, you want to be able to pick between the first lot you bought or the last lot you bought. And that's going to take us to our next topic, because this scenario here, right there, this is LIFO. Last one in, first one out, right? The last one you bought is the first one you want to sell when you get a pop. So LIFO is really, really good when you're buying a stock that's dropping, when you're averaging down, when you're nibbling some shares at a high price, you get a drop, you nibble some more, and you continue to do this, and then you get a pop and you want to just take a little bit of share size off and take some profit, you want to go with LIFO. And there's a specific way to set this up in your account, because by default, TD Ameritrade explained to me that in their Thinkorswim platform, by default, things are set up as FIFO. So what happened to me the other day was I sold some stock that I had been averaging down, and it actually cost me money because it executed as FIFO and I didn't realize it. The first one in, first one out. So I basically didn't make any money because it was back up near my entry point. If I would have been able to execute a LIFO, then I would have made some money and I'd have been able to hold that cash immediately in the account and put that cash to work. Now, the reason that there's a difference is because TD Ameritrade is one platform and Thinkorswim is another, and they don't talk to each other based on defaults that you set up in each account. So I had LIFO set up in TD Ameritrade where I can check my accounts, and I assumed that would carry over to Thinkorswim. But customer support corrected me and said that's not correct, that's not how it works, and I'm going to show you exactly how to change this so that you can take advantage of LIFO, because I thought I didn't have any options, but turns out that I do. So let's say I go ahead and I purchase these shares, I average down, it pops, and I sell my shares. Thinkorswim executes it as FIFO to start out, but then you have 3 days for this stock sale to settle. It's a settlement period. Now, once it settles, it's permanent. So you have to go into your TD Ameritrade account and you have to change the settlement on it before those 3 days are up. So let's take a pause here, absorb all of this introductory to FIFO, LIFO stuff, and then we're going to jump over to TD Ameritrade and I'm going to show you where to go in order to make this change. So let's do that right now. Okay, so what you want to do is go over to tdameritrade.com. You want to log in, and then you have your tabs at the top. You want to go to My Account, and then toggle down here to Cost Basis. And when you click Cost Basis, that's going to take you to this screen right here. And you're going to have these tabs that you'll see set up, 3, 4 tabs. You want to click Unsettled Closed Positions, and it'll bring up any sales of stock, any unsettled positions that are within those 3 days because it takes 3 days to settle. Now, I told you guys that I had been averaging down some Zillow stock and we had a nice run up, and I wanted to sell that last purchase that I made. I wanted to sell it first. So Zillow is the security. 100 shares I took off my position. You can see I have one more day to go for settlement. So I've still got 1 day to get this all finalized. But look right here, LIFO, LIFO. That's what I want. The last one that I bought, the last in, I want to be the first sale, the first to go out. So what you want to do is you click this green button with the arrow on it, and it'll bring up this window. Go to assign to a specific purchase. And what that's going to do is open up this screen, and it's going to show you your ticker symbol, your description, the date that you sold it, the quantity of shares, the proceeds per share, and then the total amount. Now, Zillow shares to assign. This is where you do the assignment. You come over to this little box here. It's a drop down, and it gives you some different options. So you can come in here and say, I want to do FIFO, first in, first out. You can do that. In my case, I want to do LIFO. So I went ahead, I selected LIFO, and you just click submit. And what that'll do is, that'll go ahead and set it up on here so you can see very clearly that I'm going to be selling last in, first out. So the cheapest shares I bought, because I was averaging down, are the first that are going to go out when I sell. So it's super simple. You just come to my account, you go to cost basis. When you get to that page, you click the unsettled closed positions, and then you're going to deal with it all right here. So I hope that helped you guys. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope the end of the year is fantastic. I appreciate everyone's support yesterday. You guys were wonderful about helping me to keep my head up, stay positive. We're making some changes to the channel. I want everyone to come along for the ride. Taking Trades turns 1 year old on December 31st, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Turn on those post notifications. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you're new to town and this is your first Taking Trades video, hit that subscribe button. Join the channel. We'd love to have you. We'll see you next time.